Intermittent fasting is one of the dieting principles that I've used for quite a long time with clients. So if you've ever wondered whether it can help you to lose more weight, today's video is going to help you with a few pointers.
Don't want no part of this, none of the above. Don't want no part of this, none of the above.
Alright guys, so as I said before the title's rolled, today I'm talking about intermittent fasting. You've probably heard of it, it's on trend at the minute, hence the video. But this is not a new thing, this is something which has been used for decades. It's gaining popularity because of its effectiveness, but like all dieting styles, there's a lot of BS, a lot of nonsense around it. So today I'm going to run through what it is, how it works, whether you can use it to lose more weight, which is the whole point, right? So first of all, intermittent fasting, right? There's that many e-books and fucking hardback books and courses now on it, trying to cash in, that it's been overcomplicated to the point where people don't even know what the hell IF is. It is as simple as you're not going to eat between this time and that time of the day, and then you're going to jam all of your daily calories between 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock. That's it. Okay, in principle, that is all you need to worry about. That's IF. So the reason we do that fasting period, there are certain benefits, you know, which, well, they tend to get overblown, but there are certain benefits that a period of fasting will improve the activity of certain genes inside the body, which are responsible for helping us determine how much body fat we can burn during a given period. And they will turn the activity of these genes up. And also, some research even suggests that when we break our fast, i.e. gets to 2 o'clock, we have our first meal. When we do that, some research out there suggests that doing that kicks these genes up even further for a very short period of time, so we're increasing fat loss that way. But, yeah, I don't want to sound like one of those, like I say, gimmicky ebooks that's going to tell you it's the miracle fat loss secret that they don't want you to know about. The real reason IF works is because by locking your calories into a certain time of the day, you're going to be able to maintain a calorie deficit. You're going to be able to stay on your diet a lot easier. Okay? Sure, like I say, you will get the benefits of what we just mentioned there, but they're minimal compared to the overall goal, the overall result that you need from your diet is you need to eat X amount of calories per day. And if at the moment you are struggling because you always overeat, if you're a nighttime overeater, or if you snack at work, IF can work for you. Because you can schedule when your feeding window is going to be. Do it at the times when you need it. Okay, so that could be, I don't know, 2 till 10 p.m, that's the one I use. Or that could be 3 to 11 p.m. You could start earlier than that. You could do 11 through till 7. Notice how each one I give is an 8-hour feeding window. Again, that's flexible as well. With IF, you could use a 16-8, which is the one I use. That means you've got a 16-hour fast, which includes your sleep, by the way, and then an 8-hour feeding window where you just eat your full daily calories. You could change that though. You could do a 14-10 or a 24. Weight, which is really hard, that one though. I wouldn't recommend that one. It just depends on what fits your lifestyle though and how busy you are. So yeah, so one thing I would do though, wherever it's possible, always try to make sure that your feeding window, when you're eating your calories, make sure that your training fits in with that. So in a perfect world, you want to time it so that you leave the gym and then boom, your feeding window begins. Because then you can get your post-workout nutrition. Nothing worse than going to the gym, training hard, and then, oh shit, I've still got 3 hours to go before I can eat anything. Like, don't believe the muscle building magazines. Your muscles are not going to melt. You will survive. It's just you feel hungry. That's all. It's a killer. So yeah, in a perfect world, do that. Of course, we don't live in a perfect world, so you might find that you have to adapt it a little bit. But yeah, that's IF. It does work. It works particularly well for 2 groups of people, I find. Number 1. People who just want to lose weight. The people I mentioned before, who struggle staying to their daily calories. It does work for that because the discipline that you learn from, right, 2 weeks in, I know I'm not allowed to eat because it's only 12 o'clock. So you just get used to it, and that gets so many unplanned snacks and little junk foods out of your diet, and the drop in calories just from that alone will help you to lose weight. The second group of people are people who've been dieting for a while, they've lost weight, but they're at that stage where their body's adapted and they need to cut a little bit extra out of the diet, but they're just struggling doing it. IF, again, same reasons it works for the other people. The discipline that you get, I'm only going to eat between this time and that time. It's quite hard to overeat when you've got a short feeding window. So again, that helps you to get that little slight cut that you need from your diet. Another aspect of IF which people often get wrong as well is food during the fasting period. It's called a fast because it's a fast, okay? When people ask me, oh, what am I allowed, what supplements am I allowed? Because they read muscle building magazines and it says you've got to take this and that, you've got to have BCAAs, it'll stop muscle breakdown, oh my god. Right, unless you're doing the training of, you know, Mo Farah, long distance, Olympic runner, you ain't gonna waste away within like a 16-hour period. You're not even gonna notice any difference. Plus, if you take BCAAs, once they enter the bloodstream, they get broken down, they get used to build muscle. You've broken your fast, my friend, whether a muscle building magazine told you to or not. So whenever I've got a client on IF, the only things I'll recommend that they have during their fast is calorie-free options. Okay, so water, black coffee, it's quite good for energy because you're going to feel a bit zonked, a bit worn out during your fast, particularly the first couple of days till your body gets used to it. So black coffee can come in handy, and that's it. No supplements, okay, no BCAAs and shit like that. A couple of negatives with IF. Well, one main one, you can use it if you're trying to gain muscle, okay, you can use it still, but it's a lot harder and I wouldn't really recommend it if your goal is to get bigger. No, that's one thing I disagree with the people who try to sell this as like a miracle diet, the way everyone should live. Everyone should live how they need to live, you know, flexible diet is the way to go. With IF, if you're trying to gain size, the main reason it's ineffective is because of that short feeding window. If you gain size, you have to eat more calories. Why would you try and cram them into such a short space? You're gonna feel like shit. There'll be people out there that say it works for them, of course, like anything else, but for the majority of people that I've worked with in the gym that have tried it, they didn't like it. Again, it's just calories in, calories out. As long as you're looking after that side of things and hitting your targets, you would still gain muscle. It's just harder because you feel stuffed. So that's one aspect of IF which I don't really like or recommend. So there you have it. If you're thinking about using IF, it's something that I use. It's something that a lot of my clients use, particularly female clients. The first 3 days is the hard bit, and then after that you kind of just get used to it. And it becomes just a way of life. The risk of sounding like a diet guru. It does become a way of life. As an introduction, can't get the words out. As an introduction to IF, those first few days feel pretty brutal. So what I would recommend is starting off doing it maybe 2 days a week, and then just going back to normal, and then up that to 3, and just gradually work it in. You might find that you love it straight away, you can jump straight in, but if not, that's a good way to get started with it. And you should be happy with the results you get from it. I've certainly been happy with what it's done for me and what it's done for my clients, but don't be fooled by the hype. The main reason you're getting those results is because you are sticking within your daily calories. That's the main thing. It's just a tool, IF, not a miracle cure, it's just a tool to help you do the main thing you need to do on your diet, which is calorie control. Alright, hope this helped. Get subscribed, drop a like on the video, and leave me a comment if you've got any other questions about IF, and I'll do a follow-up video for you. Cheers, bye bye.